the YouTube. Just need to load that up. Here we go. And I'll provide that link in the chat to everybody now. Okay, so let's get started. So this is HackerFrogs After School. This is the web app hacking course. And HackerFrogs After School is a cybersecurity program for learning beginner cybersecurity skills across a wide variety of subjects. This is the intro to web app hacking. And what exactly is web app hacking, you might ask? Web app hacking is the intentional abuse of systems and applications accessed via the internet by a user, which benefits that user in some way. This benefit can take the form of access to unauthorized data or systems, the deletion of data, denial of website services, or any number of other benefits. In order to learn web app hacking, we must learn about the internet, how websites work, and a good amount about the technologies and software found in that space. Most students know at least the basics of using a web browser and how to use websites, so we're going to build on those skills to establish a collection of techniques to explore and hack web applications found on the internet. So it is important to note that at no time during our study of web app hacking will we engage in testing or hacking of websites or internet spaces that A, we do not own, or B, are not intentionally set up as learning environments for web app hacking education. So we're not going to be hacking any services or websites without their permission. So we're going to be doing everything ethically, and we're not going to be doing any bad things. So HackerFrogs After School classes prefer to incorporate CTF games into classes for a more interactive experience, but what are CTFs? Cybersecurity Capture the Flag games are training exercises where the goal of the exercise is to capture the flag through use of cybersecurity skills. In this context, capture means to gain access to a file or other resource, and flag refers to a secret phrase or password. The CTF game we'll be playing to learn basic web app hacking skills is called Natas, which is hosted on the Over-the-Wire CTF network. The Over-the-Wire network hosts several different CTF games. The Natas CTF game is made up of many levels of increasing difficulty. The initial levels, 0 to 10, are going to cover the target web app hacking techniques for this course. So let's move over to our first session, which is this one. So what we're going to do is we're going to learn about the Natas CTF rules. Let's navigate to the following URL. So it's over thewire.org, Wargames Natas. Let me grab that link for everybody. And I'm including it in the chat right now. So if you want to take a look, it's just over there. So I'm just going to go over this quickly. So Natas teaches the basics of server-side web security. Each level of Natas consists of its own website located at natasx.natas.labs.overthewire.org, where X is the level number. There is no SSH login. So sometimes to play these CTF games, we log in via SSH on our terminal. But in this case, because we're looking at websites, we don't have SSH login. To access a level, enter the username for that level and its password. Each level has access to the password for the next level. Your job is to somehow obtain the next password and level up. All passwords are stored in the /etc/natas webpass/ directory. So for example, the password for Natas 5 is stored in the file. So this section right here is talking about if you're able to get access directly to the server. So sometimes when you interact with websites, if there is a particularly nasty web app vulnerability on that website, you're going to be able to access the server that is underneath that website. So this section is just talking about that. So everybody, um, all the links for all the challenges and the different websites that we're taking a look at today are located at this link right here, which is on the HackerFrogs GitHub. Let me just grab that. Okay, so it's at this link right here. All right, somebody in YouTube chat says, hello. Hello, security lover. Nice to see you. Okay, so over at the GitHub, there's we have our links for the NetaCTF levels that we're going to be going through today, and then the Pico CTF challenges we're going to be doing today. So what we need to do is we need to go over, so go navigate to that link and click on the link that goes to Natus level 0 over here. So there's also a username, Natus0, and a password, Natus0. So just click on that link. And then it's going to ask us to sign in. In YouTube chat, Security Lover says, I was just watching your videos. Oh, thank you very much. I had a lot of fun solving those challenges, and I hope you learned something. All right, so in this little sign-in box, we're going to be logging into the challenge. There's going to be a username field and a password field. In the username field, the username is going to be Natas0, Natas, and then the number 0. And the password is going to be the same thing. It's going to be Natas0. So after you've filled in both of these fields, click on Sign In, and then you'll be on the Natus0 page. So if you are on the Natus0 page and you see this web page right here, please type in the chat, I'm in, and smiley face. So if you need any help as to how to access the page, or if there's anything you don't understand, please let us know in chat, and I'll try to help you out as soon as I can. All right, so we see a lot of people are in. So here we are on our first web app hacking challenge right here. So does anybody know what we could do to try to test the security of this page? Some basic things we could try to do. So user LC says inspect element, right click, inspect. Okay. So I see a lot of answers like that. So that's great. That's the right kind of that's the right direction we want to go in. So basically, any web page is made up of code, and that code is interpreted by your web browser, and your web browser turns it into this form that we see right here that you see on your web browser. But actually, it's made up of a bunch of code, and you can see that code by doing either right-click inside of your web browser, and there's going to be an option called View Page Source. So it's either going to be called View Page Source or View HTTP Source, and it usually has a keyboard shortcut, which is Control U. So what I want you to try is to right-click and then select View Page Source. So if you do so, then you're going to see a bunch of code that looks like this. So if you're able to see the page source, please let us know by typing in chat, I see the source. So if you're having difficulty, you can also try using the keyboard shortcut, which is Control U. So all you need to do is when you're on the web page is hit the Control button on your keyboard and then hit the U button at the same time. Okay, so user C says it doesn't work for me. So are you able to use the keyboard shortcut, user C? No, they cannot use the keyboard shortcut either. Okay. All right. So user C, may I ask which operating system you're using and which browser you're using? Oh, you're on Mac. Okay, so I want you to right-click and then choose Inspect Element. So I guess it would be, well, I'm using a Windows machine and I'm using Google Chrome. So Inspect is kind of a different thing. On Chrome, it's View Page Source. On Safari, I think it would be Inspect Element. There's no Inspect. Okay. Let me ask really quick. On Mac, what is the browser inspect element shortcut? So it would be Option Command. You can navigate the inspect element without visiting the desired. Right-clicking on the website screen and clicking the Inspect option. You can use the shortcut key on Mac, which is Option Command I. Okay, so try Option Command I. So Option Command I, so I guess you're pressing 3 buttons at once when you're using Mac. So, oh, that doesn't work either? Okay. Page source. Page source. Try the right-clicking on the page and using the page source option. So you would right-click, and then one of the options should say page source. That's what another user says. So look for an option that's called inspect element or inspect or page source or something like that. Otherwise, I think you might be able to do it from your side menu as well. Cherry says, sorry, I mean, user C says, all I have is save page and print. Save page and print, okay. So you actually get different options when you do the right click on different parts of the website. So try right clicking on an empty part and it might give you some different options over here, okay? But let me ask if there are other keyboard shortcuts. So is there what? Okay, so I'll ask one more time on Mac. What is the browser shortcut to the HTTP source? Option Command U. Okay, so why don't you try that one? So I assume that you're using Safari. So I assume that you're using Safari. You want to try to use the keyboard shortcut Option and Command and U. Okay. So try that out and let me know if you can see the page source after doing that. But for everybody else, so user M says page source is the option second to last after right clicking. Okay, so if you're still having trouble, maybe I could ask Kiana to give you a hand, user C. Okay, but for everybody else, so after you get into the HTTP source, you're going to see a bunch of code over here. So this is all the code that makes up the website, and this code is interpreted by the web browser to turn into the pretty version that we see on our that is the regular view. But anyways, there is also a comment over here, and you can tell what an HTTP comment is by this arrow with the exclamation point and this other arrow to end the comment. But in the comment, it says that the password for Natus1 is this. So this is the password for the next level. So what you need to do is you can copy that. So just right click copy. And this is what we're going to use to log into the next level, okay? So inside of here, we can just access the next level by going over to Natus level 1. So in the GitHub page over here, there's Natus level 1. I'll provide the GitHub page to everybody again. So we just finished Natus level 0, and we got the password. I provided the password on the GitHub page just to make it easier for everybody. So just copy the password over here, and then navigate over to the Natus level 1 website. So over here, it's going to ask you to sign in again. So each Natus level has the username as the name of the level. So the name of the level is Natus 1 because we're now on Natus level 1 instead of Natus level 0. And the password is just pasted in. So just select the password field and paste in the password, and then click on sign in. Okay? So it says you can find the password for the next level on this page, but right-clicking has been blocked. So we obviously have to do something that is not right-clicking, because if I try right-clicking, there's a message that says right-clicking isn't blocked. So this is where we have to find some sort of workaround. So user LC says that it's Control-Shift-I. So user LC says Control-Shift-I. I assume that's for Mac. And user WW says Control-U. Okay. So depending on what browser you're using, so if you're using Chrome or Edge or Firefox, then it's going to usually be Control-U to do the keyboard shortcut to see the source. But, user LC says Control-Shift-I works for Windows as well. That's interesting. I've never tried that one before. So I'm going to try that, Control-Shift-I, and that opens up something different for me. But that's okay. So I'm going to, okay. So user LC says Control-Shift-I and then go to the Elements tab. So just click on that, and then we see that there's a bunch of stuff over here, okay? But you could also use the Control-U keyboard shortcut. So it's Control-U, and then you're going to be able to see all of the source code over here, the HTTP source. And once again, we get the password, and it says that the password for Natus 2 is this right here. So this has been very straightforward. The only obstacle here is that we weren't able to do right-clicking over in this challenge. So I want you to copy the password, and then we're going to log into the next level. So to log into the next level, we just need to go up to the address bar, and we need to edit the address bar. So instead of Natus 1, it's going to read Natus 2. So just edit the address so it says Natus 2, and then hit enter. And then it's going to take us to Natus level 2. And the username here is Natus 2. And the password we just copied, so we can paste it in. So you can use the keyboard shortcut Control-V to paste it in, and then click on sign in. Okay, so everybody, if you manage to get this far at Natus 2, please type in the chat 2 for 2. Smiley face. And user C, let us know if you managed to figure out how to open up the HTTP source on your web browser. Okay, all right. So we're going to introduce a new concept in this level, and let's take a look at our presentation. User AD says that they just joined. What do they do? Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you the link to the challenges we're doing today. Somebody on YouTube just subscribed. Sumpong Suatronin. I don't know how to pronounce that name. Sorry about that. But welcome and thank you for subscribing on YouTube. Okay, so everybody, this is the GitHub link. And to user AD, go ahead and click on that link. We're currently on NetS level 2. You're going to need this username, NetS2, and this password over here. Okay? So please log into the web page over there. So where were we? Here we are. So web browsers render out web pages based on the HTTP code that they were provided by the web server. Every web browser allows us to view a web page's HTTP source code. So for web app testing, this allows us to find interesting directories, developer comments, and more. So when we're doing security testing on web pages, we can find all sorts of interesting things inside of the HTTP code. We're going to be going over what we can look for as we go through the course. So the next level was talking about lateral problem solving. When hackers encounter a locked door, they look for an open window. We can look at web app security in terms of checking which doors and windows are locked and which ones can be opened. So this is where a security tester's most powerful weapon, research, comes into play. Two common research tools used these days are ChatGPT and the Google search engine. User AD says, I have login order to join to level 2. Yes, so what you want to do is you want to go to NetS level 2 inside the GitHub link, and you're going to use this username and this password right over here, okay? If you're having difficulties, let us know and we'll try to help you out. So anytime you come across some difficulties, always remember that you can Google for answers, and you can also ask ChatGPT for answers. And it's perfectly fine to ask ChatGPT or to ask Google what these about different things about web pages, especially if you don't know about these technologies, and don't be afraid to ask questions. So once an obstacle to a problem is discovered, we can research a way to overcome the obstacle or a method of bypassing it. So this next level is talking about directory indexing. So this is the first of our tricks that we're going to be using to test the security of websites. So directory indexing, sometimes called directory listing, it's an insecure setting on websites that allows users to see the file contents of web directories. I see user Prince555YT on YouTube. Welcome to the stream. Although it's quite rare to encounter this issue on modern websites, it's still very common to find it on older websites. So if you ever go to a directory inside a website and it says directory listing or index of something, and it has a bunch of files here, then that's bad news. That means that that website has directory indexing, also known as directory listing, enabled on the website, which is bad. So if directory indexing is enabled and a malicious user is able to discover different directory paths on the website, either through guessing or HTML source analysis or what is known as directory busting, then sensitive files may be discovered, stolen, or otherwise abused. Okay, so let's take a look at the NetS level 2. So it says on the website, there's nothing on this page, but we know by now that what we need to do is we need to take a look further. And we can do that by looking at the source. So either right click and select View Page Source, or use your keyboard shortcut. It's going to be Control U or Control. What was it for? Can somebody tell me what the keyboard shortcut is for Mac? Because I don't use Mac. But anyways, we want to take a look at the page source. So we need to do Control plus U. So here we see a bunch of code over here. It looks very similar to the previous levels. Does anybody see anything suspicious on this page that we could investigate? If you know, type in the chat and we can take a look further. Okay, user LC says the SCR. All right, so this is an image source tag over here, and it points to a particular file location. User AD says it keeps saying that the password and username. Okay, so you need to provide your password and you have to provide your password and username and make sure that you're using the correct link. So on the page, Natus2 is over here. So you want to go to Natus level 2 and make sure it's the correct link. You want to make sure that the username is Natus2 and you want to make sure that the password is this. But just to make sure that that this is the correct password, I'm going to try out this password combination myself. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to open up a incognito window and try logging in. Hold on. So I'm going to copy this password. And then I'm going to try logging in through the incognito window. So Natus2 as the username, and then paste in the password. Click on sign in. Okay. User AS says, why are you using incognito window to put in the password? It's because I already signed in using my regular web browser. So just to test it out, I needed to log in again, and that's why I use the incognito window. So this is the correct username and password. You just need to make sure that you're putting it all together. So it's this link and this username, Natus2, and this password over here. Just copy it and paste it in. But let's go back to the challenge. So some users said that this was suspicious right here, so we could check this out. So this is another directory on the website. So this is in the files directory, and it's this file called pixel.png. What we could do to open this up is we can right-click on it, and then we can select Open Link in New tab. And then, or we could just click on it directly, and we're going to be brought to this file. So the file is literally just a dot. So user AD says it's still not working. User NC says, I don't see the image SRC on my screen. Okay, so this is so it's going to be just a dot if you go over to this link right here. So it's going to be the base website and then /files/pixel.png. And we're going to see this dot right here. So what's more interesting than just this dot is that we can go over to the address bar and we can delete pixel.png from the address bar and just go to files/. So inside of your address bar, modify it by deleting the pixel.png and then just navigate to this directory right here, hit enter, and then we're going to see that there's a directory index. So user NC says that they don't see the image SRC on my screen. They meant in the code. Okay, so over here, you want to make sure that you're looking at, is user C, are you still having problems with, are you still having problems seeing the source code? If you are, I've got a solution. So what you can do inside of your web browser is you can type out view dash source and then colon in front of the address over here, and that's going to let you see the HTTP source as well. So you just put view source in front of the website, just like this. So for example, if you're looking at the view source for this website, and I'll send the example to everybody in chat. So you just put the word view dash source colon and then the IP address, the URL. Okay. So try that out, and you should be able to see the source that way. Okay. So to user NC, they said that they weren't able to see the image source on the screen. Try scrolling down. It should be on line 15. If it's not there, make sure that you're at the Nodus2 website, because if you're not on the Nodus2 website, you're not going to see this code. Okay, but for everybody else, let's keep on with the challenge. So inside of the index over here, it's going to say index of files, this directory. So there are two files. There's pixel.png and there's users.txt. So we can click on, so we're able to see all the files in here. So we can just access users.txt by clicking on it. And then this is a list of different passwords. So passwords are usually username and then colon and then the password. So this is not part of the password. This is just a separator that separates the username and the password. So inside of here is Nodus3. So this is the password for the next level. So just copy this. And if you have a bunch of tabs open right now, I recommend that you close all of the tabs that you're not using. So just keep on closing the tabs that you don't need anymore. And we're going to be going to Nodus level 3. So once again, if you need the GitHub link, this is the GitHub link. We're going to go to Nodus level 3. And this is the link. You can just right click and put it in a new tab. And then you can copy the password here. And it's going to ask you to log in one more time. This is Nodus level 3, so the username is Nodus3. And the password, just paste it in. And then here it says there is nothing on this page. All right, so to user C, were you able to access the HTTP source by using view source on the address bar? No? Okay, so So let me demonstrate. Okay, so what you need to do is on whatever web page that you're accessing over here. So go over to the address bar, and then go to the beginning of the URL. Type in view dash source, and then type a colon, and then this is in front of the URL, and then hit enter, and then it should show you the source. So go ahead and try that out. If you aren't able to look at the source that way, let me know what error message you see or what happens when you try that out. Okay. Okay. So before we do this level, let me demonstrate one more concept, one more web app hacking concept before we solve this challenge. Okay. So for this level. So before we talk about that, let's talk a little bit about how HTTP works. So HTTP is the backbone of the internet, and all web browsers receive web page content by sending HTTP requests to web servers. So basically, whenever you load up a web page, your web browser is going to make an HTTP request to the web server, and the web server is going to respond back with the page, and that's how things work on the internet. User P says, hi, hello, user P. Okay, so in return, the web servers send the web browser an HTTP response, which is rendered by the browser and presented to the user. So each HTTP request is made with a specific HTTP method, which tells the web server what kind of interaction you want from it. So most of the time when we're getting web pages from the internet, we're using the GET request. And okay, user P says they don't have the link. Okay, so for user P, I'm going to give you the GitHub link. And on the GitHub link, what you want to do is you want to just scroll down. We're currently doing NetS level 3. So what I want you to do is right click. So actually, this is what you should do. So you should remember that the username is NetS3. And what I want you to do is highlight the password over here and copy it. And then you can just click on the link that goes to NetS level 3, which is this one right here. And then it's going to ask you for your username and password. The username is NATAS3, N-A-T-A-S 3, and the password, just paste in the password and click on the sign in button, okay? Okay, so where were we? Each HTTP request is made with a specific HTTP method, which tells the web server what kind of interaction you want from it. Most of the time when you're loading web pages on your web browser, you're using what is called a GET request. So it's an HTTP GET request. The most common HTTP method is the GET method, which retrieves the contents of web pages. So the web server will always return an HTTP status code with its response in the form of a 3-digit number. Any code in the 200 range is considered a successful response. So this isn't something that you necessarily need to know right now, but it's useful information for later. So what we're going to be using to solve this level is called Robots.txt. So what is this file? So there's this file called Robots.txt that is sometimes on websites. And the reason it's here is because search engines such as Google and Yahoo and DuckDuckGo, etc., they use programs called robots to visit websites and map out the web pages. So basically, you've got a bunch of automated bots that the search engines use to map out websites. However, this may cause sensitive areas of websites to appear in search results. So say that you have a website that has a bunch of top secret stuff on it, and you're keeping it in this one directory that you don't want the search engine robots to catalog and put on the website on Google, right? This is where robots.txt comes into play. So in order to prevent this, website administrators can add a file called robots.txt to the website, which specifies which directories and/or pages of the website are off limits to search engine robot programs. So robots.txt tells the search engine robots what they can and cannot do on the website and which parts of the website they can and cannot look at. Unfortunately, if malicious users know how to find the robots.txt file, the contents of the file could potentially lead them to sensitive areas of the website. So the problem is, because the robots.txt file might have inside of it, it says don't go to this super secret directory and don't put that stuff up on Google. If bad people look at the robots.txt file and they see that directory, they might visit it themselves. So, and that's kind of an issue. Okay, so how does this apply? You know what? To everybody, what you can do is you can just go to google.com and you can look at the robots.txt file on google.com. And so you can just visit google.com, and then at the end of the address, you can do slash, and then you can do robots.txt. So go to google.com/robots.txt, and you're going to see what a robots.txt file looks like. So up at the top, let me make this bigger for everybody. So up at the top, it says user agent. And user agent basically means what web browsers are allowed to access the website. And in this case, it's star. And star in programming usually means everything. So this means that all web browsers are able to look at the site, but here it says disallow/search. So it doesn't want the search engine robots to look at this directory right here, search, but it will allow the search engine robots to look at search/about. So it's just a big list of all this stuff right here, all these directories that it wants the search engine robots to look at and which ones it doesn't want it to look at. Okay? So how does this apply to our challenge? It applies because there's a robots.txt file over here. So if we look at the, so this is Natus level 3. If we look at the source code, it's going to say, no more information leaks. Not even Google will find it this time. So this is a reference to robots.txt. So everybody, what I want you to do is I want you to try accessing the robots.txt file on the Natus 3 website. And if you're able to do so, please let everybody know in chat by typing out, I see the robots. Smiley face. Okay, so all you need to do to see the robots.txt file is to go over to the address bar, and then at the end of the address, just type out slash, and then robots.txt. So don't forget the slash, because if you don't put in the slash, then you're not going to be able to see it. So it's overthewire.org/robots.txt. Okay, so when you look at the robots.txt file, it says disallow/secret/. But in this case, they're using leet speak, which means that they are replacing the letters with numbers and stuff. Okay, so everybody, what can we do with this information here? Does anybody know what we can do with this, with the information inside of the robots.txt file? Okay, so the answer is, because the robots.txt file is pointing at a directory in the website, we can access this directory ourselves. So we didn't know that this directory existed before, but since we know because of the robots.txt file, we can just highlight this and then copy it. And then over at the address bar, we can delete robots.txt/ and we can paste in this directory. So paste this in and then hit enter. Okay, and this gives us access to this directory right here, which is directory indexed or directory listed, so which is another web app vulnerability. Okay, so this directory has this file in here, users.txt, and in this file we have the password for the next level, Natus level 4. Okay. All right, so user Elsie was able to get it first. Congratulations and well done. Okay, so we're going to record this password right here, and we're going to be covering the next few levels of the Natus game in the next session. But we actually have a couple of PicoCTF challenges that we could try out just to practice some of the stuff that we learned today. Okay, so the first challenge. So we're going to have to log into our PicoCTF website one more time. So let me get rid of this and let me go back. Okay, so everybody, this session's exercises. One of the exercises is, where are the robots? So this is the link right here. So everybody, let me give you the GitHub link one more time. So after you log in to your PicoCTF, so you need to make sure you're logged in first. But after you're logged in, I want you to click on the link that under where are the robots, okay? Or you can just put this in a different browser tab. So you can right click and open link in new tab. And then you will see the where are the robots challenge. So if you're here and you see the challenge, please type in the chat, where are the robots? Question mark, smiley face. So if you want a direct link, I'll also put a direct link in the chat. Okay, some people are on the page. Good to see, good to see. All right, so the description says, can you find the robots? And it has a link that, that goes to the website. So there's the link here. All you need to do at the link is right click it and then select open link in new tab. And then you'll be able to access the website. And on the website, it says, welcome, where are the robots? So everybody, do you remember how to access the robots.txt file? So this is talking about the robots.txt file. How do you access the robots.txt file? Does anybody know in chat? User WW says you add robots.txt to the URL. So right, so at the end of the address bar over here, so you make sure that there's a slash, and then you type in robots.txt. Okay? So after you do that, you're going to see user agent star and disallow this directory. So this is not a directory, this is a web page. So all you need to do is highlight the web page, the name of the web page over here, copy it, and then at the address bar, delete /robots.txt and paste in this new web page and hit enter. So user AS says, if there's already a slash, do I add another? You don't need to add another slash if there's already a slash. And you definitely don't want two slashes. So if there are two slashes, you get rid of one, and then you hit enter. Okay, and on this page, there's the flag, PicoCTF, calculating machines, something, something. Okay, so just copy the flag and go back to the challenge page and paste in the flag, hit submit flag, and then you're done. User AS says, I'm on the second page, help please. And user LC says, for some reason it doesn't let me. After the robots. Okay. So let's take a look at the challenge one more time. So that one is, where are the robots? Okay, so let's visit the page. Whoops, where are we? Okay, so this is the robots.txt page. What you need to do is copy the name of the file over here, copy that, and then at the top of the address bar, get rid of the slash robots.txt, and then paste in the name of the file, and then hit enter. And then you should see on this page, there's the flag. Okay, all right. So let's quickly do let's do another challenge, okay? So this is another challenge to help us practice some of the skills we learned in today's lesson. And this next challenge is called includes. Okay, so let me provide the link to everybody. Everybody, this is the link. The challenge is called includes. Okay, so this is the includes challenge. The description says, can you get the flag? Additional details will be available after launching your challenge instance. So all you need to do to start the challenge is to click on the blue button labeled it's labeled launch instance. So just click on that. And then after a few seconds, the website will become available. So when you see that there's the red button here, you'll see that there's a link. Go to this website, and website is the link. You just need to right click, open link in new tab, and then go to that website, and you should see this blue website over here. So if you are there, please type in the chat, I see the blue smiley face. Okay, user LC is finished already. That was quick. So if you want to go ahead and try to solve this, if you want to race me to the flag, that you can go ahead and do that. I highly encourage it. But if you want me to help you out and guide you through the challenge, then you can go ahead and keep on listening. So we've got our web page over here, and we also have a button over here that says say hello. If we click on the button, it says this code is in a separate file. Okay, so there are a couple of files that we need to take a look at for this challenge. So the first thing we need to do is we need to take a look at the source for this web page. So we can do that by right-clicking and selecting View Page Source. So we see that there are a couple of files that are in the links. So there's style.css and there's script.js. So we can open up these linked files. So just right-click and open a new tab for style.css, and the same thing for script.js. Right-click and open link a new tab. So we can go over to these files, and this is a CSS file. It lets the web page know what kind of style sheet, what kind of style settings to apply to the website. But it also has part 1 of the flag. So we've got a 2-part flag in this case. We can copy the first part of the flag and then go over to the challenge page. And in the challenge page, we're going to paste in the first part of the flag for safekeeping. So this is the first part. And then we're going to go back to the second web page that we opened up, which was called script.js. And in the script.js, there's some Java code which prints out this alert. This code is in a separate file, and that was part of the web page that we looked at in the beginning. But there's also this part of the flag over here. This is the second part of the flag. So copy the second part of the flag, and then go back to the challenge page, and then paste in the second part of the flag after the first, and then we have the whole flag. So just click on Submit Flag, and then the challenge is finished. All right, so everybody, if you managed to solve that one, please type in the chat, it is included. Smiley face. Okay, so we've got a slightly more difficult challenge. I think we can finish one more before we finish up today's session, okay? So this next challenge is called Robots.txt. So let me grab the link for this and put it in the chat. User LC says, that's a font. That's true. That is true. So this is the name of a certain type of font, so Roboto Sans. But it also has the word robot in here, so it kind of indicates that the robots.txt file might be involved. So let's take a look on PicoCTF. Okay, so this is the Roboto Sans challenge. There's a flag somewhere on this web application, not necessarily on the website. Find it. So what we need to do is we need to click on this button that is labeled Launch Instance. So everybody, if you want to race me to the flag, go ahead and try looking at the website yourself. And if you're able to get the flag before I finish explaining to everybody, then you are ahead of the game. Okay, so after we click on the Launch Instance button, then this link should appear. It says, check this out. So right-click on this and put this in a new tab. So you might have a bunch of tabs that from previous challenges. You can go ahead and delete all those. Not delete, close them. So you can close all those files. So we have this website right here, and we know that this challenge probably has to do with the robots.txt file. So we can go ahead and go up to the address bar, type /robots.txt. Okay. So on this robots.txt page over here, it says, think you have seen the flag or want to keep looking. And then there's some funny looking text strings over here. Does anybody know what kind of encoding this could be? User LC says this could be base64, and that's true. So how can we decode base64 strings? Does anybody remember? User LC says we could use the web shell. Yes, we could use the web shell. Just for convenience, there's a website. There's a website we could use. User UF says, where are the robots? Or we could use the website. That's correct. So let's use a website just so we don't have to log into our web shell. There's a website called base64decode.com, and I'll leave that in the chat so everybody can try it out. So on this website, you just paste in your base64 string, and then you press this button over here, decode. So what we can do over at the challenge website, so this string right here, we can copy it and then go over to the base64 decode website and paste it in. And then we can hit the decode button. So this tells us we're on the right track because it says flag1.txt, JS something something. Okay, so this is a clue. What we can do is we can keep on decoding the strings from the website. And let's try the second string. So the mistake here would be to highlight all of the strings and translate them all at once, because that's going to give you a different result. So what we want to do is we want to translate them one by one. So we've got the second string. So on the website, we're going to paste in that second string, and then we're going to hit the decode button. So when we decode this, we see this right here. So does anybody know what this is right here? And how this could help us find the flag? Okay, so it says JS myfile.txt. And user LC says, put it in the URL. It's a file. Do we need to open it? Yeah, that's it. That's exactly what we're going to do. So this is a file path. So this is a directory. We know it's a directory because it's got a slash. And then we've got myfile.txt, which is a file name. So it's this directory and this file. So we can just copy this And then on the website, we're going to go to the address bar. We're going to delete robots.txt, and then we're going to paste in this new file that we found. So this one is in, so it's going to be /js and then /myfile.txt. And this file has the flag in it. Okay, so if anybody's having trouble, please let me know. But otherwise, let's copy this flag and complete the challenge. So go back to the PicoCTF challenge. So it says Roboto Sans. At the bottom here, just paste in your flag and click on submit. Okay, so user WW says, can you help me please? Okay, so go ahead and tell me what issue you're having, and then we can assist you. Just let us know exactly what's going on. So this is Roboto Sans. Let me start up my instance again. Okay, and if you were able to complete the challenge, please type in the chat, domo arigato, Mr. Roboto. Smiley face. So user WW says, when I put the basic-64 code, it does not give me the files.txt, and when I put in JS myfiles.txt, it pulls up a 404 error. Okay, so to user WW, I think the problem is that you forgot to put in a one slash inside of the URL. So it's this. This is the what we got. So just copy that, and then on the web page, you want to make sure that you do slash and then paste in. So make sure that it's this number, whatever number this is, and then slash, and then JS, and then another slash, and then myfile.txt. So if you forget to put in this slash and you just try to access this, then you're not going to be able to see it. It still pulls up a 404 error. Okay, let me help you out after the session is over, and we'll see if we can resolve this issue. Okay, but for everybody else, let's do a little summary of what we learned today before we finish out today's session. So let's review the web exploitation concepts we learned in today's workshop. So the most important skill to develop in cybersecurity is researching. Google and ChatGPT are two powerful research tools. Use them wisely. And directory indexing. Directory indexing is a vulnerability on websites that allows users to see the file contents of web directories, which can lead to sensitive data exposed to arbitrary website visitors. And Robots.txt. It's a special file included on certain websites that indicate which files on the site can and cannot be indexed by search engines. It can be abused to point malicious users to sensitive parts of the website. Okay, and in the next workshop, we're going to continue learning web hacking skills with the NetCTF. The next session is going to be on Friday at the same time. I hope to see you there, but before you go, there's one challenge that we get to, which is this one called Secrets. So let me give you the link to the GitHub page. And in the GitHub page, you should see the Secrets challenge at the bottom there. I want you to try solving that one on your own. And if you aren't able to solve it by yourself, you could try looking at the YouTube walkthrough, which is also on this page, okay? So go ahead and try that on your own after, so sometime between now and the next session, which is going to be on Friday. But until then, I hope everybody had fun. If you have any questions or any concerns, please stick around after the session is done, and I'll try to help you out. I'm going to end the